Hello everyone and welcome to this month's episode of What's for Dinner. Today I'm going to be making some pad thai with shrimp. Let's get cooking. So this recipe is not one of mine, it's actually a recipe that Erin told me about. She made it for dinner a few weeks ago and I really liked it, and I asked if I could include it in a What's for Dinner episode, and she said yes. So I thought, well, rather than just having me make it by myself, why not have her come on? So let's welcome her to the set, shall we? Hi!
Hello!
Hi, thanks for coming up here again.
You're welcome.
Okay, so what are we doing?
We are making pad thai.
Okay, so what's the first thing we gotta do?
So first is we have to stir fry the vegetables.
Okay, what kind of vegetables we got?
So we have yellow peppers,
All right.
and we have snow peas, and water chestnuts.
You need oil, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
3
about...
tablespoons.
All right, I'm just gonna, actually, yeah, I'm gonna guesstimate.
Sounds good.
That's
yeah,
about
that's really all you
1, 2, 3. That'll work. All
Perfect.
right, I'm gonna do my signature pan swirl. It's not signature, I just do this to coat it in the oil. All right, let's get some heat going here. Medium high.
I'd go with medium to
Okay,
start out,
we'll
and
start
then once
right
we
there.
start putting things in, we might.
Okay, so you're adding some garlic?
Yes, it says 3 teaspoons in the recipe, but I just kind of.
Or cloves?
Or 3 cloves. Yes.
3 cloves,
Sorry, 3
okay.
cloves,
So
yes.
3 cloves, which is about 1.5 teaspoons.
Yeah. So
Okay,
we'll
so go ahead and add
with
that.
Okay.
Get this and mix it around a bit. Okay, so we got vegetables. We got a yellow, does it have to be a yellow pepper or?
No, it can be any kind of pepper you want, really.
Okay.
I prefer the yellow or the orange or the red because they have kind of a sweeter flavor.
I thought the recipe said a red pepper and...
Yeah, I think it does say red pepper actually, but the orange, the yellow, or the red, they're sweeter, so they just are a nicer flavor to go with the flavors that are in this dish.
Okay, and then snow peas and water chestnuts.
Yes.
Okay.
You can really do it with any vegetables that you prefer. The recipe actually calls for bean sprouts, but I had trouble finding bean sprouts. Yes, you can really use any kind of vegetables you want in this. It's kind of a recipe you can adapt to make it your own really nicely, which is something I like about it. You can kind of use whatever vegetables you prefer.
I'm upping the heat just a little bit to get this cooking here. So I said, were you doing this with shrimp? Can you do chicken? Can you do...
You can definitely do shrimp, you can do chicken. The recipe also says you can do tofu as well. I've never tried it with tofu, but if you're vegetarian, there's an option for you.
Sorry, vegetarians, no thank you. Looks like our garlic is sizzling here a bit.
All right, yeah, sounds good.
Okay, so we want to add in...
I usually start out adding in the peppers because they're a firmer vegetable, so you want them to cook down, so I start with them. So we'll put those in there.
If you want the peppers, it's important that they are thinly sliced. You don't want them in diced up, right?
No, you want them like thinly sliced. It works better with the noodles when they're thin sliced.
Okay, we're gonna let the peppers cook for a bit and we'll be back when it's time to add the snow peas and the water chestnuts. All right, the peppers have cooked down really nicely. Well, not cooked down, but they've cooked very nicely. We are going to add, about how many snow peas is this?
I usually do about half of it because you kind of want a nice balance between your peppers and your snow peas and your water chestnuts so it doesn't...
We're talking like a half cup or so?
Yeah, I'd say about a half cup. I usually do about half the bag, and this is...
Okay.
I'm not quite sure what size bag this is, but 8-ounce bag. So yeah, half a cup.
About 4 ounces.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but water chestnuts are not in the actual recipe.
They are not. That is correct.
Okay. What made you want to add them?
Oh, they were always my favorite in Chinese food growing up. I would like pick them out. I'd be the one at the table, like when the dishes are still sitting there, I'd put my fingers and snag the water chestnuts.
See, I never grew up with water chestnuts. In fact, I don't think I knew what they were until maybe college. Do we wait or do we add them now?
Let's wait a little bit. Once the snow peas kind of start turning bright green, like they are right now.
Like they are right now,
That's perfect, yeah. And I usually just do the whole can. This is an 8-ounce can.
Wonderful.
That works out well.
Wonderful.
There you go.
They look like potatoes.
They do. Look at that. And then now is a good time to just add a little bit of salt and pepper to season all this.
So as we've been saying, Erin has done a lot of addendums and admissions and omissions from this recipe. One of the things that we haven't tried before is the recipe calls to add 2 eggs. So we're going to put eggs in this. We're not usually used to putting eggs in this, but I'm willing to give it a try. Are you willing to give it a try? All right, well, let's go.
Okay.
All right, so here.
Scramble them first, though. So
You gotta scramble them
Or you
first?
gotta mix them together, so I'm gonna crack them and
All right, go
whip them
ahead.
up first.
I'm going to turn the heat down a bit since we're getting pretty close to the end of these vegetables. While she's working on the eggs, there's really only 2 other things we have to prepare, and that's the sauce and the shrimp. The shrimp we already bought pre-cooked, so we only really have to warm them up. And the sauce is pretty much just a bunch of stuff you pour into a bowl and mix together. All right, we got our eggs. I'm gonna move some vegetables to the side there. Go ahead and pour them in on that end.
And then just like scramble in a regular egg like you would for breakfast.
Roger that. All right, while I'm working on these eggs, we're gonna get ready to make the sauce, so we'll be back when it's time to do that. Okay, the vegetable mixture and the egg are pretty much done. I've set them kind of onto a medium-low heat just to keep them warm. Erin's gonna now work on the sauce.
Yes.
What do we got here?
Yes, so a couple things you need for the sauce. The first is fish sauce. Then you
That
also
sounds gross to me, but I've had this. This is good. I'm not trying to like undermine anything. This is really good. She made it a couple weeks ago, as I said at the beginning, and it's very good. So
fish sauce.
if you don't like fish sauce, don't worry about it.
And then soy sauce, rice vinegar, some sriracha, and then light brown sugar. So we'll start out with our brown sugar, actually.
Okay, so how much of that are we adding?
We are adding 10 tablespoons. So,
Oh boy,
fun
okay.
fact, this recipe, when you do it normally as like one batch of it, it calls for this sauce once, but I've learned that with various types of rice noodles, like if you have thicker rice noodles like we're using today, it absorbs more of the sauce, so you're better off making extra sauce.
Okay.
So that you're not left with kind of a bland dish at the end.
Well, let me find you my tablespoon.
I have it already.
You have it already?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Oh, you're holding it. All right.
Oh, don't worry. We're good to go.
I went dig it for nothing. Let's count, everybody. There's 1,
Oh my.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Not bad. Very good.
So the next thing we're going to add is the fish sauce. I am not a huge fan of fish sauce, and it calls for 6 tablespoons total, but instead of that, I just do 4, and I add a little bit of extra soy sauce instead, because that's just how I prefer. So that's what we're going to do.
I remember when I started doing this show and I started cooking things with soy sauce, I always had this negative idea, this negative feeling towards soy sauce. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I never really had it growing up. And then come to realize that you can really use it for a lot of different things. And when you cook with it specifically, it really can affect how good a recipe is. So I am a big fan of soy sauce. Okay, we're at about how many tablespoons now?
This is number 4.
Number 4? You're only putting 4 in.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
But it called for 6.
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct.
All right, you good with that? Let's set this over here.
Okay. And then next one I do is soy sauce. And I'm going to do 4 of these as well.
All right, so another 4 tablespoons of soy sauce. Is that more than what the actual recipe says?
Yes, it is, because basically what I've done is I've substituted some soy sauce for the fish sauce I didn't use. Yeah.
Got it.
Next up, we have the rice vinegar, and I'm also going to be doing 4 tablespoons of rice vinegar.
Get a towel and wipe that little bit right there.
Yes, thank you. I'm making a mess.
I'm going to get a pan here. We're just going to set this right over here. That's what our shrimp is going to go in. Roughly about how much shrimp are we going to put in this?
It depends kind of how many shrimp you really want. I usually do about half a cup. Just depends how much protein you're looking for with this.
Well, I like shrimp, so I think I personally might want to add a little bit more.
Perfect.
All right.
Let's go for it. All right.
Okay, so we have the rice vinegar,
yep.
and then our last ingredient.
This is sriracha, and I like spicy food, but I don't like it to be super spicy, so I kind of just estimate this. The recipe actually calls for a tablespoon of it for one batch, so if you're doing a double batch like we are, it would be 2 tablespoons. But I just kind of eyeball it a little bit, so that's what I'm going to do.
Very good.
There we go. That's sufficient.
And then here's a spoon to stir.
Yes, and we're going to mix it up here.
Okay. While she's doing that, I'm going to go over here and get the shrimp. I love how it says easy open.
And it's not easy
And it's
open,
not
is
easy
it?
open. There has yet to be any company that has made an easy open tab that is actually easy to open. This bag does not want to open.
You need some assistance.
There we go. Well, these are big shrimp.
Yeah.
A lot bigger than the other ones we had.
Yeah, that's all they had was the big one. Okay, well, we'll roll with it. That's fine.
That's about half the bag, and they're pre-cooked, so all you gotta do is heat them up.
You could do fresh if you wanted, but I just prefer this because it's easier to keep around.
Okay, so that's pretty much what this recipe is. The sauce is done, the shrimp are heating up, the vegetables are done. All you really need to do now is just build everything. The noodles are sitting over here off to the side. Erin's gonna come over here, and so exactly how do we build this and put this together?
Yes, okay, so what we'll end up doing is, once these are ready, I actually like to keep these separate because it stores better when they're separate. So what I do is I take the sauce, put it in there, mix it up with all the vegetables, and then once that's cooked a little bit to make sure all your brown sugar is dissolved, then I pour the noodles on top, and you kind of mix all that in a pan, and then I like to serve the shrimp just on top, and you can mix them in as you go. It just keeps better, I've found, because this makes a pretty sizable amount of food. Like, we definitely had it for, I think, a couple days the last time, so it was nice, but it definitely keeps better and keeps its flavor longer if you store the shrimp separate from everything else.
Well, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna switch sides with you.
Yeah, sounds good.
I'm gonna come over here, and I'm gonna man the shrimp
Okay, perfect.
while you take care of that.
Yes. I'm gonna let those, I think, thaw a little bit, but let's see. Let's put this on low, and we'll just kind of let this. Yeah, we'll go to.
All right, sauce is going on.
Yeah.
It's really good, actually.
Because one thing you want to make sure of is that your brown sugar fully dissolves before you add your rice noodles in. Because one experience I had early on, I didn't dissolve the brown sugar enough, and then my rice noodles were a little like grainy.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, this is kind of a step that I added in to make sure that that doesn't happen again.
So we'll be back for the final moment when we add the noodles to the vegetables and the sauce and get ready to put the shrimp on. All right, we got our shrimp done. We got our sauce and vegetable mixture done. All we gotta do now is add our rice noodles to the vegetables. Would you like me to hold and you pour?
Yes,
I'm sorry,
that would be-
I pour. You
Yes, and I will.
do, yeah, there you go.
Yep, there we go. That's good. All right, so this is 8 ounces of rice noodles. You can use the brown ones, you can use the white ones, whatever kind you like.
And just cook them according to what the package
Yeah,
says.
just follow what your package tells you to do. Okay.
Good?
Yep. I'm gonna give you that.
Okay.
And so you just want to mix this in here so that your rice noodles get coated with your sauce. You can turn up your heat a little
Say
bit.
turn the heat up a
So it
little bit.
starts to the sauce gets a little bit thicker, and then it will cook. It'll cook down a bit, and then it'll stick nicely to your noodles.
Over here we have some crushed dry roasted peanuts and some chopped green onion as a garnish that can go on top. Our shrimp is done. It's cooked down very nicely. So all we're really doing now is just waiting for the sauce to cook down. So we'll be back when it's time to eat. All right, time to plate everything up. So we got bowls. How about I let you do this? Why don't I let you put everything in these?
Yeah,
So
I can do that.
here's yours.
Thank you. All right.
So you go first.
So we'll start with this. Kind of do the base with the noodles and the vegetables.
Okay.
Here's.
Thank you. It's hot.
It is really hot. Okay.
We're gonna put some shrimp on.
Yes. However many you like.
I might do 5. Perfect. 3, 4, and 5. You can always make more shrimp. If you buy one of the bags, like the bag that we had, we only used half of it. Because this does make a lot more of the noodles than it does the shrimp, you can always put more on when you want to make more. I'm going to go ahead and add some green onion to mine. Gives it some real nice color. And also some of our chopped peanuts. And then lastly, 1/4 of a lime.
Yes.
1/4 of a lime for you.
Thank you. I like to juice it over top, and then it.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that in a second. We'll do it in a second.
Okay.
Let's get some forks. I'm going to show everybody what we're dealing with. Okay. I mean, these look pretty good. If you can see that pretty well, it's steaming up pretty nicely. So, very good job, I
Thank
think.
you.
All right, let's get our lime.
Yes. Juice this over
Just go that over top.
There we go.
Good. Set that there. All right, I want a little bit of everything.
Yes. All right.
Alrighty.
Ready?
Here we go.
It's good.
I ate the tail of the shrimp.
Extra flavor.
That's okay. It's very good. Hot. Very hot. Hot as in temperature. It's not
Yes.
spicy.
No, it's not too spicy.
In spite of the fact that there is sriracha in this, I would have no clue that there's sriracha in this. I'm not a huge fan of sriracha. It's very slight. It's there. You can tell it's there. It's very good.
Like the heat at the end.
It's very good. Well, thank you all for watching this episode of What's for Dinner. If you have any recipes that you would like me to make on camera, you can leave them below in the comments and I'll check them out. You can also fill out the Google form that's found in the description for recipes that you want to submit for future consideration on the show. Thank you again, dear, for being here and sharing this recipe with us.
You're welcome. That's fun.
Really appreciate it, and I'm excited to make this again sometime. So again, thank you all for watching. Take care. God bless. We'll see you on next time. This is really good.
Yay! That was fun.
I'm gonna get this shrimp in here. I'm not gonna eat.
I'm gonna take the tails off them. I usually, the last time we had them, I actually took the tails off
Oh, yes.
before you came over. 'Cause at
Very
that
good.
time-